Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day this video may find you. Thank you so much for viewing my video and for the first time. And thank you also for my returning viewers. If you like the videos, then please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you feel that my content is something that is valuable to you. So let's get into it, people. Listen, today I want to do a video on something that I definitely know a lot about. Too much about, more than I want to know about. But I want to do a video on why so many moms and grandmothers do too much for their children. Not all, but some. Why so many do too much for their children or grandchildren. As a mother and a grandmother, I can say that for me, I overdid things to compensate for the lack of someone else. The lack, in a lot of parts, we can say, of the males in the children's lives. Okay? Not, and in all cases, that doesn't mean that the male is physically absent, okay? They can be mentally absent as well, okay? But what it is, people, especially for the mothers feel a lot of guilt for selecting a male that was not up to par, okay? For selecting a male to have a child with, to mate with, that end up being someone that was not the standards that was required for a parent, okay? And the grandparents a lot of times do it for the same reasons, but they don't have the same guilt because it's not their child, okay? It's their grandchild, right? And then also a sense of obligation because it's theirs, the title, my child, my grandchild, okay? But there are so many fathers that are absent, whether it be physically or mentally. And the women that are the mothers of these children, of course, carry a great burden, especially when the children are small. It starts then, and it just goes way out of hand the older the child gets. A lot of us didn't realize that we were hindering the child's growth and independence. You know, I know for me, I would do things and thought, you know, because I was such a go-getter, I felt like I was leading by example, you know. So thinking that, you know, well, me doing this, then they'll see what I'm doing, and then later on in life when they're older, you know, they'll pick up on it or whatever. But, you know, we all know now, with those of us that have learned it, that it starts when the child is small. This is why with my grandchildren now and other children that I'm around, if I see them doing things, throwing things on the ground, intentionally doing stuff, I make them go up and pick it up themselves, because they need to learn how to be responsible and learn to take accountability for what it is that they did at an early age. If you don't get it in those early ages, it's going to be hard like anything else to work it out, okay? But I know for a fact, because I mean, I know plenty of women as well that have had to do things alone, or either like, or with the male in the house. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my history. I had a child as a teenager by my older boyfriend, okay, that convinced me to stop taking pills so we can get us a child, okay? I had never been with nobody before. This is the first, so, ooh, and, there are a lot of young girls having babies in my community. So it was not as shameful as, it was very acceptable, I'd say, had a lot going on too. It's too much for me to say on this little video here. But I accepted his offer, and I did, and we had a child. He did, of course, because I was 16, he was working. He was the one that was providing financially for the child. But he was a serial cheater. And once I got tired of that, of course, he would use the fact he's not going to do anything financially for the child unless I be with him. Okay? So we went through a whole situation where the court system totally failed, and he would run away from his responsibilities by working on the table and such. So y'all, brace yourselves. $50 a month. He was supposed to pay $50 a month. Child support. Okay. Now, in the beginning, with our breakups and stuff, he still was present in her life, but just monetarily wouldn't do anything. And I just would let her go because it was her dad. If he comes to get her or calls and says he want her, I would let her go because it was her dad, So, anyways, eventually, that dwindled off. And I just, a woman in that type of situation, you just feel like, well, I got to make sure that my child still has the love and things that he or she needs, and so I just overcompensated trying to make up for somebody else thinking that, well, the child wouldn't miss things, but you can't make up things for other people. You can't. Young women out there that you have that, no matter what, not saying to not do what you need to do for your child. I'm just telling you to don't get into overdoing things because you're trying to make up for that absent parent, because that's not going to make up for the absent parent. The child is still going to have that void there. I also end up marrying someone that would be present physically and a great deal monetarily in my children's lives, but mentally was not there. So I overcompensated, I just, whatever he would, we just had different parenting values on how to handle things. He was a lot hard, like that old school stuff, like do as I say, not as I do type of thing, and really hard if the child messes up school, whatever, well, you do it work, stuff like that, where I would sit down and talk to him, trying to help him out, take him to different stuff, to get help, try to see what's going on, if you got a kid that's having problems with school and everything. But I just did too much. And then what happens is you're in a situation where, everybody's expecting you to do too much. I literally was such a problem solver type of person. I'm just now getting used to when people are talking about their situations, for me not to try to fix it. I remember I would literally be talking to somebody, and as they're talking, I'm literally in my mind trying to figure out how to help them fix that situation. Yeah, I'm telling you, just really recently, I've done so well, made so much improvement with not doing that. Yeah, because I understand, now what that has done. But these are, I did two videos. I did a video on the carnal-minded Big Mama, and I did a video on the spiritual Big Mama. And the spiritual Big Mama, she's really trying to help. You know, she's really, that's what she thinks that she's doing. But what happens is you can actually literally turn the people that you know into you being their God, and it affects their relationship with God. The carnal-minded one, they all out for themselves. They selfish, and they don't care nothing about your relationship with God. The spiritual-minded one, she does, but she doesn't realize doing too much means that they feel like she's always going to be there. So they don't need us stuff. You know, they're going through stuff. They're not going to get on their knees and pray and ask God for help so too much, because they got mama, grandmama to go to. But the carnal minded, they're not doing too much of nothing. Them kids spending for themselves. If anything, they have to go and work and do things to bring money back to her. So, but I got two videos, y'all. Y'all need to watch them if you get a little time. But I really wanted to do this video here to explain that a lot of these moms did not realize the damage that they were doing in their sons relying on them to help them. They didn't understand, and the daughters too. But it just looks worse when it's the sons. But the daughters, they have big back issues too, not learning, what it is that they need to learn as well. And it affects their relationships too. But I really wanted to do this video here because I had saw another video and saw some comments and stuff and everything, and I know firsthand the reason why it happens. And you do have to shut it down. You have to set those boundaries, and you have to let them go, because you do not want your child trying to figure out how to deal with life on their own after you've gone on to glory. You want them to have gotten that together before you leave here. You do not want to be the reason that they didn't. So anyways, I hope this helps someone. I'm 55, someone that is my age or a little bit younger or something, and they're stuck in that situation with their kids, and they're wanting to help, but the help that they've been doing has been a lot, and there's no change. The reason there's no change, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. And if you want your son to stand up and be a man, or your daughter to stand up and be a woman and be able to stand up on their own feet, and also have within them to submit to God and ask God for help for them to get themselves together, you're hurting them. You're hurting them. You're going to have to cut those cords. And it's going to hurt. I'm telling you right now, it's going to hurt. Who in the world wants to not have a good relationship with their children? Not a good woman. Not somebody that means good for their children. But they have a saying, sometimes you have to love a person enough to let them go. This is one of those type situations. Look, it's a risk that you have to take. You have to take. Because you not doing it is for you. Because you don't want to lose your relationship, or you don't want to risk your relationship, or you don't want your relationship tainted for a while. You have to love that child enough to do it for them. And you have to cut those cords. Set those boundaries, because you want to be able to look at your children and be proud that they're standing up on their own. To be proud that they have their own relationship with God. That when they having problems, they're not running to you. They're running to God, and they're getting things done. You know, they're handling things so well as a husband or wife or mother or father. That's a blessing, people. So anyways, I hope and pray that this video helps somebody out, because a lot of people may not even realize it, because for a long time I didn't. A long time I did not realize that I was hindering my children from doing too much, trying to compensate for what the other parent wasn't doing. In one case, it was monetarily and the mental, and in the other case, it was the mental. So anyways, people, I hope this is a blessing to you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.